3 reasons why India excluding Shreyas Iyer for IND vs NZ 2025 fourth T20I was a massive blunder. Team India made one of their most surprising changes to a playing excluding in a long while by ignoring Shreyas Iyer and naming Arshdeep Singh instead in the playing excluding for an injured Ishan Kishan during the fourth T20I against New Zealand. While it is hard to estimate how much that particular change contributed to India's 50-run loss in Vizag, it certainly did play a part. Team India had the option of making a straight swap as they had a batter in Shreyas Iyer on the bench. However, keen to include only players in the World Cup squad in the playing X7 and seek a challenge after 3 consecutive wins to seal the series, the team management went with a different route altogether. On that note, let us take a look at 3 reasons why India excluding Shreyas Iyer for IND vs NZ 2025 fourth T20I was a massive blunder. Ishan Kishan's unavailability naturally opened up a spot for a pure batter to operate at no. 3, which Shreyas Iyer, being the only batter on the bench, should have taken up. Although the ace batter is not a part of the World Cup squad, the fact that Tilak Varma is still not up and running yet means that Iyer has to be considered as an unofficial member of that contingent. Given that Tilak Varma has not played a game since January 6, there is no telling how he would fare on his return, that too directly in the World Cup. Sanju Samson is a prime example of why nothing can be taken for granted in Indian cricket. When the wicketkeeper batter returned to the top of the order, it was assumed that India have resolved their top order issues. But a string of poor knocks has left him on the brink of an exit once again. In that particular instance, India need not worry too much because they have a backup ready in Ishan Kishan with game time and form under his belt. But in the no. 3 debacle, both of the candidates in Varma and Iyer are coming off injuries and lack rhythm. Given that Varma is not an option for the time being, India did have the choice of playing Iyer and keeping him in the mix should he be needed when the World Cup arrives. If there is one trait that has been common during Gautam Gambhir's reign as head coach, it is the emphasis on batting depth. Specialist bowlers have always had to bear the brunt of India's desire for a batting option at number 8. However, in the fourth T20I, India went in a completely opposite direction by sacrificing batting depth for an extra specialist bowler. Replacing Ishan Kishan with Arshdeep Singh meant that India only had genuine batting candidates until number 6. The unorthodox combination saw Harshit Rana come out at no. 7, followed by a long tail. As a result, it was no surprise that India failed to bat out their 20 overs, especially after they almost lost half their side in the first half of the innings itself. The lack of batting depth ideally should not give the batting unit the luxury to go hard from the word go. However, with a massive target in sight, India had no other choice but go all out even with a batter short. It eventually became an exhibition of how things could go wrong, given that Harshit Rana had to come out to bat as early as the 11th over. While India may accept the loss as part of experimentation, exposing and challenging themselves, and lessons learnt, they are underestimating the value of momentum and how it takes only one match to send it downhill. Shreyas Iyer could have been the glue that held India's batting unit in place in Ishan Kishan's absence at number 3. It was quite obvious that only 6 batting options would not suffice, despite the batters involved being in good form. More so than the lack of batters, it was the fact that they had to play out of their positions. That made India's job tougher. With no player like Shreyas Iyer to link the top and the middle order, and Abhishek Sharma getting out off the first ball, it was just a recipe for disaster. For instance, while Rinku Singh is capable of playing at the top of the order, it is not the role he is going to play in the T20 World Cup. He may have got some balls under his belt, but given that most of it was in the power play and early middle overs, it does not amount to much, since he is not going to bat in that phase in a full-strength team. The wrong batting order, combined with a poor start, messed up the entry point for nearly every single batter. Rinku Singh, as mentioned above, came into bat after the 2-over mark. Hardik Pandya came in as early as the 7th over, and Harshit Rana right after the halfway mark of the run chase. These are not the roles they are meant to fulfill with the bat under regular circumstances, unless there is a rare landslide of epic proportions. India, even at full strength, are completely vulnerable to a batting collapse, especially taking their brand of cricket into account. However, in that instance, they have the luxury of sending the right type of batter in, unlike what was seen in the fourth T20I, which turned out to be an uncoordinated mess in the name of experimentation and exposure. Follow IPL Auction 2025 live updates, news and biddings at Sportskeeda. Get the fastest updates on Mega Auction and cricket news quick links.